Welcome back to WION World is One. Thank you so much for staying with us. My name is Heem Khorsara and this is Speed News. Here's what we've lined up for you on the show today. Let's get started. While threat of an Iranian attack on Israel is far from over, US President Joe Biden has said that a Gaza ceasefire deal this week could hold Iran back from direct offensive against Israel. Asked if a truce between Israel and Hamas could stave off an Iranian assault, Biden said that was his expectation, adding that while negotiations are getting hard, he was not giving up. However, uncertainty still looms large over a deal. The U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken has postponed his West Asia trip. Meanwhile, Iranian officials said that a promised retaliatory strike could be delayed to allow talks to progress. A new controversy has erupted in Israel after Israeli Security Minister Itamar Ben-Gvir visited the Al-Aqsa Mosque, also known as the Temple Mount to Jews. Challenging the rules, he said that Jews should be allowed to pray on the site, which is one of the most sensitive sites in the Middle East. Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu's office immediately issued a statement on Ben-Gvir's statement, denying any charges that there would be a change prohibiting Jews from praying at the site. Ben-Gvir's remarks come at a delicate time when the war in Gaza is at risk of escalating into a wider conflict. Taliban is celebrating its third anniversary of their takeover of Afghanistan on Wednesday. The top brass of Taliban attend a military parade at a former U.S. military base. The celebrations included festivities in key cities. The event is taking place amid heavy security in the country's capital of Kabul, with continued threat of Islamic State groups in the country. Back on the 15th of August 2021, Taliban forces seized control of the country after the United States-backed government collapsed, with its leaders fleeing into exile. On the Afghan calendar, the anniversary is celebrated a day prior. As Israel remains on peak alert for retaliation from Iran, Hamas said that it fired 2 M90 rockets at Tel Aviv, their first attack since May. The attack did not lead to any injuries or casualties. Meanwhile, Hezbollah says it has launched a series of strikes against sensitive Israeli military sites, targeting their technical and espionage equipment. The group also said it carried out a missile attack hitting troops around an Israeli military site near the settlement of Matad. As Ukrainian forces continue to advance into Russia's Kursk region, Vladimir Putin has appointed his aide and former security guard Alexei Dumin to take charge of the military operations in the Kursk region. The shift in guard comes after Russia's Chief of General Staff, Valery Gerasimov, gave a briefing over video link to Putin and other heads of the Russian law enforcement agency, wherein he gave a positive report regarding Russia's defensive in the Kursk region, which largely contradicted what was actually happening on the battlefield. A new report has revealed that Hunter Biden sought assistance from U.S. government for a lucrative energy project in Italy when President Biden was serving as vice president alleged of using father's political standing as leverage for his foreign business interests. The records withheld by Biden administration revealed that Hunter Biden wrote a letter to U.S. ambassador to Italy in 2016. The report, however, said that State Department officials were somewhat hesitant to help with the request from a son of a sitting vice president. Two influential members of ousted Sheikh Hasina government have been arrested. Police arrested the advisor to former Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina, Salman of Rahman, and former Law Minister Anisul Haq as they attempted to flee from Bangladesh's capital Dhaka on Tuesday. The arrests come in connection with two murders that took place during the violent quota reform protests last month. Following the arrests of two party members of the Awami League, Bangladesh's army has given shelter to key members of the ousted Awami League government. Owing to the impending threats on their lives, the Army Chief General Waqaruzzaman has said that he has given shelter to those people irrespective of their party affiliations, opinions and religion. However, he added that any allegations against those who are under the army's protection will be punished. Sheikh Hasina has issued her first statement following the ouster and has expressed the need for rioters to be punished while seeking justice for vandalism to her father's statue. She went on to say that many people died in the name of revolution. Hasina said that those involved in these killings and vandalism should be properly investigated and punished. The statement was issued by Hasina's son, Sajib Wazid, on X, which came hours after a court ordered a probe into her role in the death of a grocery shop owner during the protests. Japanese Prime Minister Fumio Kishida is stepping down as ruling party leader in September, ending a three-year term marked by rising prices and marred by political scandals. Kishida's resignation comes amid his party's ties with the controversial Unification Church and donations made at fundraising events that were seemingly off the books. He's been drawing criticism for not hiking wages in line with the rising cost of living in the country. Kishida's decision has now triggered a contest as to who will replace him as the next Prime Minister of Japan. With cases mounting at a drastic rate, the African Union's health authority has declared a public health emergency in response to the escalating outbreak. As per CDC data, as of the 4th of August, there have been 38,464 cases of Mpox and 1,456 deaths in Africa since January 2022. The outbreak in Congo has already seen around 27,000 cases. It's claimed more than 1,100 lives since the beginning of 2023. Congo is facing two outbreaks simultaneously. There are no vaccines or specific treatments for Mpox available in Congo outside of clinical trials. The gruesome rape and murder of a trainee doctor in India's West Bengal has left the entire nation shocked and outraged. Now, a team from the Central Bureau of Investigation has landed in Kolkata. This after the Kolkata High Court ordered for the probe to be handed over to the CBI, with the deadline of case documents to be transferred set for 10 a.m. Following this transfer, the CBI team, along with a contingent of forensic scientists, will be visiting the site of the crime at the R.G. Kar Medical College later today. The spirit of patriotism is speaking across India. This is the nation gears up for Independence Day with the Har Ghar Tiranga movement. From the peaks of Jammu and Kashmir to the bustling streets of Ahmedabad and the serene valleys of Arunachal Pradesh, citizens are uniting to celebrate their love for the nation. A remarkable Tiranga rally was also held on the world's highest railway bridge over the Chenab River in Jammu and Kashmir's Riyasi district. Gujarat's Ahmedabad witnessed a grand spectacle as hundreds of citizens participated in the Tiranga Yatra. In Arunachal Pradesh, a 600-foot-long Tiranga was carried by residents, showcasing the state's unwavering commitment to the nation. With US presidential elections around the corner, billionaire Elon Musk's interview with Republican presidential nominee Donald Trump on Tuesday has irked the United Auto Workers Union. The union has filed complaints against Trump and Musk over alleged attempts to intimidate workers through comments made during this exchange. In the interview, Trump hailed Musk for his cost-cutting measures, calling him the greatest cost-cutter. Musk responded to Trump's comments with only a chuckle. UAW said that it's illegal to fire workers for going on strike. Meanwhile, there's no clarity whether Labour body would take action against Trump or Musk. Asian stocks rallied ahead of the US consumer inflation report on Wednesday. Federal Reserve's rate cut bets in September were the driving force after data showed producer prices easing. New Zealand and Taiwanese stocks rose more than 1%, contributing to the MSCI Asia Pacific Index fourth consecutive session of gains. Chinese stocks dropped as data showed the first contraction in the bank credit to the actual economy in 19 years. Separately, data showed the US producer price index increased less than expected. The index also rose for the fourth straight session of gains, marking its biggest four-day rally this year. China's first bank loan contraction in nearly 2 decades has fanned fears. The world's number 2 economy might be moving towards a balance sheet or a recession, as Japan did decades ago. A plunge in new corporate borrowing saw bank loans shrink last month for the first time since July 2005. That deepened China's years-long battle with weak credit demand. Families and companies battered by a property slump are turning cautious in buying homes or expanding investment. Determination among consumers and businesses to pay down debt following a real estate market collapse is seen as a hallmark of Japan's stumble into decades of deflation in the 1990s. China's steel industry faces a serious crisis than the downturns of 2008 and 2015. The world's biggest producer highlights a need to preserve cash and likened conditions to a severe winter. Leaders expect the crisis will be longer, colder and more difficult to endure than expected. China's steel market, by far the world's largest, is flashing multiple warning signs. The property downturn and weaker factory activity have ravaged domestic demand this year. Prices have plunged to multi-year lows as mills rake up losses. Investor confidence in Germany's economy plummets to its lowest level since January. This follows a disappointing run of data and the recent turmoil on global stock markets. Figures published in recent weeks paint a gloomy picture for Europe's largest economy. Output unexpectedly shrank by 0.1% in the June quarter. July readings of private sector activity and the business climate offered little comfort. Germany is facing the prospect of hardly any economic expansion this year, according to a Bloomberg survey of economists. As climate change continues to push up temperatures globally, UN has now warned that nearly 500 million children are facing twice as many days of extreme heat each year or more than their grandparents did. 1 in 5 children, and that is some 466 million kids, live in areas that are registering at least the double the number of extremely hot days every year compared to 60 years ago. Scientists say that human-induced fossil fuel emissions are worsening the length, frequency and intensity of heat waves across the world. Greek emergency services fought back against a massive wildfire that has scorched the Athens suburb, killing a woman, causing widespread damage and sending thousands of people fleeing from their homes. Greek authorities briefed that they recovered a body of Moldovan women, while at least 66 people were treated for injuries. The Greek Civil Protection Minister said that the massive wildfire was subdued and that only scattered hotspots of the fire remained. Wildfire raged across northeast of the capital, destroying dozens of houses, cars and businesses. As per reports, there has been a spike in sign-ups on Blue Sky in the UK. This follows Elon Musk's controversial comments on the nationwide riots that have prompted people to look for alternatives to X. Blue Sky is a social media platform which is similar to Elon Musk's X, previously known as Twitter. Blue Sky has seen a 60% jump in general activity from accounts in the UK, with several members of the parliament also joining the platform. California and South Carolina might join other U.S. states in restricting cell phone use in schools. Currently, 8 states, including Florida, Indiana and Delaware, have banned smartphones in schools. California's Governor Gavin Newsom has been advocating for school districts to limit students' use of smartphones on the campus. These actions aim to minimize distractions in classrooms and address concerns about the impact of social media on the mental health of children and teens.
For latest news, download the WION app and subscribe to our YouTube channel.